All right, let's dive into some Python today.
Sounds good.
We're going to be looking at file handling.
Okay.
You've sent over a ton of material on this, and
Yeah.
we're ready to go through it all.
Excellent.
So file handling, what is it really all about?
You know, it's interesting because it kind of lets your Python code talk to the rest of your computer.
Oh,
You know, interact with all that data that's just sitting there on your hard drive. So it's really like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
I like it. But before we go too far, when we say files, what are we really talking about?
Right.
I see one of the sources mentions a file cabinet.
Uh-huh.
Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, that's a really good place to start. Think of it like on your computer, a file is basically a container that holds information. Just like a file folder would hold documents, in a physical file cabinet.
All right.
And it could be anything,
Yeah.
a simple text file,
Yeah.
a complex image, a song, or even a program. But the key difference here is that files store this data persistently, meaning that it sticks around
Oh, wow.
even after you turn off your computer.
Oh, that's different from, what's in the RAM,
Exactly.
which disappears when you shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
So files are like the computer's long-term memory, then
That's a great way to put it.
making sure we don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these files, but I've noticed they have these different extensions, like .txt or .mp3 or .jpg.
Yeah.
What are those all about?
Those are like little labels that tell the computer what's inside the container.
Oh, okay.
So it knows how to handle that information.
So they're not just random.
Right.
They actually mean something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And it basically divides files into two main types. Text files and binary files.
Okay.
Text files are pretty simple. They contain text that we humans can read. Like think of your .txt documents.
Yeah.
Or maybe some website code you've seen, .html.
HTML, yeah.
Or even, data organized in a spreadsheet, like a .csv file.
Okay.
So these are all text files.
So if I open up like a .txt file, I'm going to see readable text.
Exactly.
But if I try to open like an image file, it's
Yeah.
be gibberish.
Most likely, yeah, you'll see a bunch of random characters.
Okay.
That's because image files, audio files, videos, those are all binary files. And they store data in a format that computers can understand.
Okay.
But it's not really designed for us humans to just read directly.
Just like their own language.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And even those .zip files that you download sometimes, those are binary files too.
Really?
Yeah, they just pack a ton of data into a smaller package.
Wow, so they're more complex than they seem.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so we've got these files. They're containers of information labeled by these extensions, text files, binary files.
Right.
But how do we, actually start working with them using Python?
That's where the fun begins.
Okay.
We've got these things called file handling operations. And these are basically actions that we can perform on the files.
Okay.
So, commands to open them, look inside, make changes,
Right.
or even create brand new ones.
So what are the main things that we can do with files using Python?
The core operations.
Yeah.
You've got 5 of them. Open, read, write, append, and close.
Okay.
And when you open a file, you're basically establishing a connection to it.
Got it.
It's kind of like picking up a book and getting ready to read it.
Okay, and then reading is actually looking at what's in the file.
Exactly, yeah. You're taking in the information, and then we have write, which lets you add new information or change what's already there.
Oh, so we can edit it.
Exactly. It's like taking notes.
Okay.
Or adding your own thoughts in the margins of that book.
I like it. So read is for taking in the information,
Yeah.
right? Is for putting our own spin on it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about append? What's that all about?
Append is a safe way to add new information to a file without overwriting what's already there.
Okay, so that's different from write.
Exactly.
Because write would just wipe everything out.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so append is more like adding on.
Yeah, think of it like adding a new chapter to the end of a book.
Right, without messing with the other chapters.
Exactly.
I see, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And close, I'm guessing that's like closing the book
You got it.
when you're done with it?
It's like hitting that save button
Right.
and then closing the document.
Okay, got it.
So that's close. You're basically severing that connection
Yeah.
and making sure all those changes are saved.
So it's important to remember to do that.
Definitely. Yeah, good practice.
I also see some other things in the materials, like renaming and deleting.
Right.
Are those important too?
Oh, yeah. They're essential for managing those files, keeping things organized.
Got it.
But let's stick with those core 5 operations for now.
Okay.
They're really the foundation.
So let's start getting into the code then.
Right.
How do we actually open a file in Python?
All right, so it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Python has a built-in function called open.
Okay.
And you just give it two main arguments. Yeah. The name of the file you want to open, and then the mode.
The mode.
Yeah, which tells Python what you want to deal with the file.
Oh, okay.
Like, where you're going to read it
right.
or write to it.
Okay.
That's the mode.
So the file name makes sense, but what are, like, our options for the mode?
You know, you've got a few.
Okay.
Do you want to just read the file?
Right.
Or write new information to it? Or even append something?
Oh, okay.
So there are a few different modes.
And what if I forget to specify the mode?
Ah, good question.
Yeah.
Python's actually pretty smart.
Okay.
It defaults to read mode.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. So if you don't say anything, it assumes you just want to take a look at the file.
Okay, cool. So I just call this open function. Give it the file name and the mode.
Right.
And that's it. I have access to the file.
Not quite.
Oh.
Python creates this special thing called a file object. It's like a backstage pass.
Okay.
That lets you interact with the file.
Okay.
Using special methods.
Interesting.
So it's not direct access.
Right.
You have to use these methods.
Okay. So file objects.
Yeah.
Backstage passes. Methods.
It's all coming together.
I'm starting to feel pretty cool here.
Good.
But before we go too crazy, let's talk about, what's inside these files.
Right.
How do we see that using Python?
Ah, that's where the read operation comes in.
Okay.
And Python gives you a few different methods for reading data from a text file.
Okay.
One of the simplest is read, which just grabs the entire contents of the file
Okay.
and gives it back to you as a big string of text.
The whole thing at once.
With the thing, yeah.
Okay, what if I don't want to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
What if I want to take it line by line?
Oh, Python's got you covered.
Okay, good.
You can use the read line method,
Okay.
and that just reads one line at a time.
That makes sense.
So you can go through it at your own pace.
So read for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Read line for one line at a time.
Exactly.
And is there anything else?
Oh, yeah. If you want all the lines in a list,
Okay.
you can use read lines.
Okay.
And that puts each line into a separate item in the list.
Wow. So we've got options.
Oh, for sure.
Read line?
Yep. Those are the main ones.
I like it.
Good. Okay.
This reminds me actually of one of the exercises in the material.
Oh, yeah.
Where you read a text file.
Uh-huh.
And you have to, convert dots to colons.
Right.
Find whole numbers.
Yeah.
And count the words.
That's a great example.
Seems like a fun way to try these methods out.
Yeah. It really shows you how to use those reading methods along with some other powerful tools.
Okay.
Like loops and conditional statements.
Oh, right.
To really interact with that data.
So we're not just passively reading.
Right.
We're actually doing stuff with it.
Exactly.
I like it.
It's all about manipulation.
Yeah, I'm seeing how file handling opens up all sorts of possibilities.
It does.
Pretty cool.
But there's another side to this
that
we need to explore.
Okay, what's that?
Well, we've been talking about reading.
Right.
But what if we want to create something new?
Okay.
Or change what's already there?
All right, let's get into that.
That's where writing to files comes in.
Okay, I'm ready. So how do we, write to a file with Python?
Python gives us the write method.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like our digital pen. We could use it to send strings of text to a file.
Okay.
And if we have a bunch of strings, like a whole list of lines,
right.
we can use write line.
So if I had a file with a bunch of haikus, each on a new line, I could use write lines to put them all in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
But there's a catch. When you write to a file this way, you're overwriting anything that was already in there.
Oh, okay. So it's not like adding to it.
Right. It's like recording over an old cassette tape.
Got it.
The old stuff is gone.
Okay. So we got to be careful with that.
Definitely.
But what if I want to add to a file without erasing everything?
For that, you can use the append mode.
Append mode?
Yeah. Instead of opening the file with AD for write,
okay,
you open it with A for append.
A for append. Got it.
Exactly.
So it's like adding a postscript to a letter.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Without erasing the original message.
Perfect.
Okay. So append is for when we want to, build on what's already there.
Yep. Add new information without losing anything.
And one of the sources talks about file positions.
Uh-huh.
What are those all about?
File positions. It's all about knowing where you are within the file, like having a bookmark.
Okay.
And Python gives us two methods, tell and seek. Tells you your current position.
Get to what page you're on. Exactly. Yeah, like page 53.
Psych.
Seek lets you move to a different position.
Oh.
So it's like using the index to jump to a specific page.
So if I want to skip ahead.
Exactly.
I can use seek.
You got it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency.
So speaking of things that can go wrong.
Right.
What about exception handling?
Ah, yes, exception handling.
You know, those safety nets for our code.
Exactly. It's all about anticipating potential problems and dealing with them gracefully.
Right, because sometimes things go wrong.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
So imagine you're trying to open a file for reading,
Okay.
but that file doesn't actually exist.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, without exception handling, your program would just crash.
Right, probably with some cryptic error message.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But with exception handling, we can catch that error
Okay.
and provide an alternative path.
So it's like a backup plan.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it.
Good.
So how do we actually DO exception handling in Python?
We use a try.except block.
Okay.
It's like setting up a controlled experiment. You try something risky,
Right.
but you have a plan B if it fails.
Okay.
So the risky code, like trying to open that non-existent file,
Yeah.
goes in the try block.
Okay.
And if everything goes smoothly, the code just runs.
Right.
But if an exception occurs, boom,
Uh-oh.
Python jumps to the except block,
Right.
which is our plan B.
Got it.
It tells Python what to do when things go sideways.
So if we tried to open a file that wasn't there,
Yeah,
we could catch that error and maybe print a message to the user
exactly.
instead of crashing the program.
That's the idea.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we can even have multiple except blocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to handle different types of exceptions.
So it's like having a whole team of specialists,
I like that, yeah.
each one ready for a different problem.
Exactly, very specialized.
Okay, so what if no exceptions happen?
If everything goes well,
Yeah.
we just skip over the except blocks.
Yep.
And if we want some code to run only when everything's fine,
Right.
we can add an else block.
So that's like a bonus.
Exactly, yeah, like a reward
Okay,
for good behavior.
I like it.
Good, good.
But what if we need some code to run no matter what?
For that, we have the finally block.
Okay, yeah.
It always gets executed.
No matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
So it's like the cleanup crew,
Perfect analogy.
you know, making sure everything's tidy.
Exactly. Always gets called.
Okay, got it.
And remember those reading methods we talked about?
read line, all that.
Yeah, we can put those inside try to except block, except blocks too.
Oh, so we can handle errors when we're reading files.
Exactly. It all ties together.
This exception handling stuff seems pretty powerful.
Oh, it is. It makes your code so much more robust.
I'm starting to see that.
And speaking of things we often work with when handling files,
Yeah.
let's talk about strings.
Strings.
Yeah, those sequences of characters.
Right, but how do they connect to file handling?
Well, most of the data we deal with in files is text.
True.
And text is basically just a bunch of strings.
Okay, that makes sense.
So knowing how to work with strings is super important for file handling.
Right, because if we're reading or writing text files, we're dealing with strings.
Exactly.
So what are some key things we should know about strings?
Well, Python has tons of built-in string methods that let us manipulate them in all sorts of ways. One key thing to remember is that strings are immutable.
Immutable.
It means you can't change them directly.
Oh.
So you use these methods to create new strings.
With the changes you want.
Exactly.
Got it.
So for example, you've got lower and upper, which convert a string to lowercase or uppercase.
Right, that's pretty basic.
Yeah, but useful.
What about if I have a string with extra spaces, like at the beginning or end?
For that, we have the strip method.
Strip?
It removes all that extra white space.
Oh, okay, so it cleans things up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like giving your string a haircut.
I like it.
Trim off those untidy spaces.
And what about replacing parts of a string?
For that, you can use the replace method.
Okay.
It's like find and replace.
Oh, really?
Give it the old substring and the new one.
Hey, I could fix typos that way.
Exactly.
Cool.
And if you need to break a string into pieces,
Okay.
you can use the split method.
Okay.
You give it a delimiter, like a comma or a space, and it splits the string wherever it finds that delimiter.
So it creates a list of smaller strings.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got lower, upper, strip, replace, split.
Yep, those are some of the essentials.
I'm starting to see how we can really work with strings.
And they're all built in.
Right, so we don't have to write them ourselves.
Exactly. Python's got you covered.
But what if we need to do something more complex, like search for patterns?
That's where regular expressions come in.
They're
like supercharged search patterns. Let you match complex combinations of characters.
Okay.
Like imagine you're trying to find all the email addresses in a file.
Right.
Regular expressions would be perfect for that.
Those sound pretty powerful.
Oh, they are. But they could be a bit tricky at first.
Yeah, I'll have to look into those.
Definitely worth learning.
Okay.
But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about another important piece of the puzzle.
Okay, what's that?
Lists.
Lists.
Yeah, you know, those ordered collections of items.
Right, but how do they connect to file handling?
So lists are really useful when working with files because they provide a way to organize and process information sequentially.
Okay, but how so?
Think of it like this. Each line in a file can be an item in a list.
Ah,
And
okay.
then we can use Python's list manipulation techniques to work with that data.
So if I had a file with, say, a list of names, each on a separate line, I could read that file into a list
Right.
and then sort the names or search for specific names, even modify the list and write it back to the file?
Exactly. And it's not just for simple lists of strings either. Imagine you have a file where each line has those comma-separated values, like a spreadsheet saved as plain text.
Oh, those CSV files?
Yes, CSV files, short for comma-separated
I've
values.
seen those around.
They're super common for storing data.
But they can be a bit tricky to work with sometimes.
Well, not with Python. Python has this awesome module called CSV.
Really?
Yeah, it makes working with CSV files a breeze.
Okay, so the CSV module is our friend for CSV files.
Exactly. It's like a specialized tool just for that format.
What kind of things can we do with it?
Well, it has functions for both reading and writing CSV files.
Okay.
And it lets us treat each row in the file as a list of values or even as a dictionary.
Dictionaries.
Yep, you know, those key value pairs.
I love dictionaries. It's like having a little database right in your code.
They're great.
Yeah.
And they're super useful with CSV files too.
But how do dictionaries fit in with CSV files?
So imagine a CSV file with columns like name, age, and city. The CSV module can read each row of that file into a dictionary. And the keys of the dictionary would be the column headers name, age, city.
I see.
And the values would be the data from that row.
Oh, that's clever. So each row becomes a dictionary, and I can access the data using the column headers as keys.
Exactly. Super convenient, right?
Yeah, it's like having a structured way to work with the data.
It is. And it opens up all sorts of possibilities for analyzing and processing that data.
Wow, this is pretty powerful stuff. I can see how this would be so helpful for real-world data.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And remember, we've just scratched the surface of file handling here. There are so many different file formats and techniques out there.
I'm feeling inspired to learn more. It's amazing what you can do with just a little bit of Python.
It is, isn't it? The key is to keep experimenting and pushing the boundaries of what you can create.
Well said. Deep divers, thanks for joining us on this file handling adventure. We've covered a lot of ground today, from reading and writing basic text files to working with lists, dictionaries, and even those powerful CSV files. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive and that you're feeling empowered to tackle your own file handling challenges with Python. Until next time, keep coding and keep those curiosity fires burning.